That's why we telling Puff, hurry up and get us on that other platform. So we ain't got to kiss nobody's ass on this bitch right here. Uh, but Shantae's coming right back. And we gonna get to some more shit. This shit crazy though. Uh, I love the movie. I love Shantae as a person. Right? I sent the request. She got to accept it. You know what it is? People who know her.
Now you know what it is. Let me just tell you, this is the funniest
Everybody
shit.
hype. Everybody that know you. Yo, you're on it. You know you on it.
No, this wasn't even that. This was actually a fan from Instagram.
How the hell they doing that?
I
Please
don't
don't
know.
say that because I'm on here every day. They'll start the bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't even know. That's crazy. So listen. So Bismarcky, was he from Queensbridge? Damn, man. The fan keep bothering, keep fucking it up. Yeah, Shantae, what happened? Shantae, can you tell a
Yeah.
fan?
So
Can you tell a fan to stop calling? Just try to be like, if you love me and you want to hear about me and my thing, please. Could you tell them, Shantae, to stop hitting your phone?
listen, listen, whoever it is that the person that is calling, um, let me make you this promise. You let me do this interview with my hip hop brother, and I will pick up your call afterwards. I'm a woman of my
Thank you.
word, and if you know me, you know that I will do that. You're a huge fan of mine, and I thank you because I saw your face for a second when I clicked onto the other phone. So I saw your face for a second. I give you my word. I will talk to you this afterwards.
Okay, so Shantae,
Yes.
so we go. In the movie, I saw that, it's the four of y'all, you and your three sisters, and your dad was there at the beginning. Then it's a scene where your mom's, and shout out to your mom's because she held it down. You know,
Yes.
my daughter grew up Little House on the Prairie. She don't know that Project Life or nothing like that. So I'm trying to school her while I'm showing her the movie, even though she watched it 4 times. Yo, this is how it be. And so your pops, your mom saved all her money up to get you out the projects, and he ran off with the money.
Yeah.
Did you know that happened when you was little? And did you ever have a conversation with your father about that?
You know, he wasn't my pops. He wasn't my father. He was like,
Oh,
she decided that she was going to date again. And she didn't want to date him in the house with us. She had that real stern, like, look, I got a house full of girls. You got to move me into a house. I need to show my girls something better. So he told her, like, yeah, don't worry about it. I done found the place. We're gonna get this, this house. And I remember that day and those days rather, because it was like 2 weeks, a 2 week period. And I remember us packing up stuff because when you get ready to leave the projects, you get hyped. You start telling motherfuckers shit. It's like getting ready to get bailed out. You telling people like, yo, I'm getting a house. I ain't gotta be around here no more. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I remember the day that we had everything packed up, and my mom started giving stuff away because she had this thing where I'm not going to take any of the old stuff into the new house.
yeah, my wife do that now,
So
Shantae.
she
I'm
gave
very
away,
furious at that. Very.
yes, but she
I
gave
go to
away
my
like
homeboys'
everything.
cribs. Everybody crib look like the old crib I had. Like, I'm not with that shit, man. Let's refurbish something. But get ahead.
Absolutely. So what she did was she had gave away our beds. She gave away her pots. She had gave away, table sets. She had gave away all of the stuff, couch, lamps. They had a party. Yeah, go on and take that. Yeah, I ain't gonna need that way. I'm gonna get new stuff. Take this, take that. And the joy and everything that was on her face and while she was doing this. No, you ain't gotta give me nothing for it. Just go on and take it. I'm gonna go move in this new house.
She even wanted to take two neighbors' kids so they could grow up in a better place.
That's what she told. She told my neighbor, Miss Greta, she said, look, I'll take them with us to make sure that, I got enough room. I got some space. Look, it's a lot of room because my mom was always giving like that. And I remember the day we were waiting for the movers. I woke up that morning. I knew we weren't moving. I just knew it.
You had the
It was like,
feeling.
I just felt it. I felt like, you know what? This is not going to be a good day. But I kept a smile on for my little sisters, packing everything up. And my mom keeps sending me downstairs and
Because you're
downstairs.
wondering why this guy ain't here.
Why this motherfucker wasn't here last night? We've been up since 3 in the morning. So I'm feeling kind of funny. I'm going up and down the steps, going up and down the steps. My best friend, she's like, how many times you gonna keep coming outside? And where's the truck at? You know, she's happy for us. And that night, I remember hearing my mom let out the type of scream that I pray I never hear again. I think if someone
I
told
know
me,
that scream.
do you know what it feels like when a woman's heart is broken and she feels like she has let her children down, like the hurt and the pain of a mother? That's when I heard that scream, and I prayed I never hear that ever again in life.
And it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you, I can relate. I remember when I got shot, and they were rushing me into the operating room. My best friend Tone, he ain't here no more. He's my best friend. And I just heard him scream with the scream. It came from under the stomach all the way out. And while I was going in there in the operating thing, I knew. I said, "Oh, this is no good. If y'all got this wild guy screaming like this, because his best friend got." I know the scream. I know the
Yes,
scream. I heard this scream before. That scream of pain. It's an unbearable pain. And so your mom's, she I don't want to elaborate so much because she's such a great woman. Because I
yes.
see through all that. You know, I
Yeah,
grew
she's
up in these
beautiful.
projects.
She's a beautiful
She
woman.
went through.
Absolutely.
She raised 4 beautiful little girls. And she drank. My father drank a lot too, and the drinking brings all the confusion in the house and
Yes,
shit
it
we
can.
never seen before. And you know, ghetto project shit. You know,
Exactly.
and I recall the one scene with you, your sisters dressed up, and y'all waiting in front of the building, and he never came.
And I understood my mom's reasoning for that. Still today, like a lot of people may not understand that, but some lessons have to be learned only through the process. There's nothing else she could have did for us, because we would have spent the rest of our lives waiting on this man to show back up to come and rescue us. You know, somebody to come and be there for us. Some people say, well, you know, that may be the beginning of daddy issues or trust issues. And absolutely, that can cause that. But I'm going to tell you this much. It'll also put a inner strength in us that can never be broken. Like, it made me a phenomenal battle rapper. A motherfucker couldn't call me anything out of my name and was gonna break me. There was no street that I wasn't gonna walk down and be afraid of. There was no store that I wasn't gonna see something, want it. If I could fold it, then I got it. You know, that's the way my life started being right after that moment.
You know,
You know,
people
and
don't understand. People don't understand that project life. If you
they don't.
thank God if you ain't live it, we hope you ain't live it. But that project, like, you know, I told my brother Dre, he from Miami. I said, listen, man, we used to be in the projects. We used to play spades, and
Mm-hmm.
whoever lost the game of spades had to go boost, had to go steal from the bodega the lunch. And motherfuckers, I don't know why, they want to write Chef Boyardee, the Bronzoni type. They want ice cream, and they, you know, the ice cream right in front of the man in the bodega. You
Yeah.
know, the bodega
How
cats,
ease
they
this up?
fucking you up. So they
Exactly.
want the ice cream, the 3-color Neapolitan one. So you
Oh, they
gotta
want to
ask
get
the man, do we
fancy.
got some matches and steal the ice cream in front of. So we not proud of it, but you know, we all had to steal to make ends meet in the projects.
Yes. Yes, we
And
did.
so I had that before. I had an uncle who had promised to take and I love my uncle, but he had promised me and my brother to take us to summer to one of them shits, the wrestling shit. What's the wrestling shit? The WrestleMania.
Okay.
And he never came. And me and my brother sat out there in them projects, staring at every car like a kid on Christmas, waiting for my uncle to come. I don't even think he ever, uh, don't even know. Like, you know what I mean? He probably just gassed us,
Right.
and we went for it. And we sit out there, so I know exactly. Um, and so you go, you get your own little apartment with a
Yes.
dude that I thought was looking out for you. right? No, I thought, because it's such thing. We had a sister, her name Little Maria. She's still alive. And
Right.
Little Maria was like the girl in the crew. We never touched her. We never try to have sex. She was like one of the guys. And so I thought that was the same shit happening until I seen them try to take advantage, of your situation.
Yes.
And so we that attempted rape, um, we can skip that and go back to you going back home.
Okay. Well,
And
I'm
so
gonna
you
tell
went,
you.
hold on. You
Mm-hmm.
went on the streets. You was 14. I was 14 when I went out in the streets too. I know. I was 14. I acted tough, but I was terrified. I was living in a crackhead hotel, giving them $25 a day. So they were shooting heroin right outside the door. Like I'm watching all this shit, right? So I can relate to what you're doing, but you're a female. How hard was it to knock back on your mother's door after you thought you was clicking, hustling a little, you had your own little spot? What was that like?
It was, I think it was the best thing for me. I think it was the fact of, you know, when God puts his hands in certain things and stirs certain things up, he stirs them up for a reason. I've never drank, I've never smoked, never used coke, been around it all my entire life, just never had a taste for it, never had a desire, always knew that there was something bigger and better for me, and also knew that I had to keep my wits about me. So had I stayed in that house, because now coke is turning to crack, all these
Mm,
different things. Who's to say what could have happened in that house had I stayed any longer? Had I gave out the forgiveness that I felt I needed to give him during that weak moment? Like, all right, listen, I understand cocaine can make strange bedfellows. People do things when they drinking. Some people do things when they high. So maybe there's something here that lets me know, okay, I need to make this move. When I went and I knocked back on my mom's door, I knew from that point on that basically I was going to have to be the mother. I think I was made to return home for my sisters.
yeah, that's a fact. And I have this recurring dream, and I tell people all the time, to this day, I got this dream of an animated dream. It comes up like once a month. It's a project building with arms and legs,
Mm,
and the motherfucker chasing me down the block, calling me Joey, and I'm running away from this building, and it's trying to pull me back into the projects.
mm,
And so, with that moment, when I seen you knock on that door, it sent goosebumps down my body because I was just like, that's the shit I be dreaming about. That shit right there, you know. And so, this guy was a bad guy, and he did terrible thing. He could have raped you.
mm-hmm.
Number two is he was foul. He could have raped you, and then he wound up doing something really good for you further on in the future. I know
Yes.
two wrongs don't make a right, whatever the case may be. Um, and it's funny because uh, when you hug your sisters, that's when you realize love is free.
Yes.
So you get in there, you argue with your sister, she hugs you, they all hug you. And immediately it hit me like, wow, love is free.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And another reason why I feel that I was drawn back there is because remember, I wasn't Roxanne Shante yet. And in order to become Roxanne Shante, I needed to come back to Queensbridge and do the laundry. I wasn't going to
Mm,
become Roxanne Shante anyplace else. Marley
mm.
Marl wasn't located anyplace else.
And
I needed
sometimes
to
we
come
don't
back.
know, when I think about Jay-Z, Jay-Z had Kanye West like a little guy. He didn't know that was gonna be Kanye hanging out in the studio all day, or Just Blaze. You know me, I had Khaled, Cool and Dre. All these guys are like, I'm actually in Khaled's house now. This shit ridiculous. And it's like, I didn't know. So the whole time I'm working on my albums and he's giving me input and all that. This is like genius input. Like you
That's
had
right.
Marley Marl on the third floor. Like that shit don't make sense to me. It's really, it blows my mind me thinking I'm a hip hop historian. Um, then you got this guy, your son's father. Am I correct?
Yes.
And uh, your mother went through the pain, and she looking at this guy. Your mother, if the movie's correct, your mother don't play no fucking games, because she told him she ain't even play it off. She was like, "You's a piece of shit, bro." She's
Yeah.
16 years old. She a little girl, and you 40 years old, man. Like, are you fucked up in the head or something? What you doing with this little girl? But of course, we know now, because we older, that he was the man, but he was clout chasing Roxanne Shante. He wanted to be like, oh, she was such and such, right?
Absolutely.
Elaborate on, did your son know that you suffered this abuse before this movie came out?
You know, this is the great thing about my son, who is an incredible human being. Like, flies a motherfucker, eats right, exercises, represents his mom. I've exposed him to so much in his lifetime. And for him to turn out to be as great as he is, it's only the work of Allah. Like, it couldn't be no one
Mm.
else. And so, I've never had any problems or anything out of him. And when we were doing the movie, I said to him, listen, this is the movie. This is what's happening. And he said to me, all right, you need to tell it. I'm old enough, you need to tell it. And I
You
said,
got to tell your truth for the sisters behind you that's coming up, who may be
absolutely. So
going
I
through
said,
that
are you
situation,
sure?
and let them know, yo, I got to get out of here. This ain't it.
Right. And then
You
I
know
didn't
what I'm
just
saying?
tell, let me tell you, and I didn't just ask the permission of my son, because before I did the movie, I went and had a meeting with my family and asked the permission of each and every one, because I
Absolutely.
knew that this was going to open up cans of worms. This was going to undo a lot of therapy. I have a sister who's a teacher. I have a sister who's a longshoreman. They have done so much to elevate and build their lives, owning homes. Their kids are great. Everybody's fine. And I was like, listen, I'm getting ready to tell this story, but it's not just my story to tell, because that day sitting in front of the building changed you. That day, me leaving home, and I called back home and you said you wanted to come live with me and you couldn't come live with me, that changed you. I need to make sure that you are okay with it also. So my family was on board with it, because they understood that we weren't going to dramatize it, because everything you see in the movie is true. That's why you didn't hear no backlashes from nobody, because everything is true. Nobody popped up to say nothing because they already knew. So it was one of those things where we actually toned the movie down because we wasn't sure if the world was ready for it.
That is a fact. Um, so does he have a relationship with his dad, and how did he feel after watching this movie? Like, this movie is traumatizing to me, and it's not my life, you know. And so, um, did he know that? Like, me and my brothers and sisters, we have different fathers, right?
Okay.
And their father used to abuse my mother and
Mm-hmm.
use drugs and beat her up and all that. And then I came with my father, and so I heard the stories, but I never heard, I never seen my mother go through that or nothing
Mm-hmm.
like that through my father. Even though my father's another movie, he's stubborn as shit. He's a movie, but I never seen him hit my mother, right?
Okay.
And so for him to see this, did you watch it together for the first time?
I'm going to tell you. Now, that's where I felt a little bad. The first time my family, anyone from my family, was able to see the movie, we saw it at Sundance with thousands of other people. The very first time we saw the movie,
Mm.
because the movie was already going into Sundance. They already had to finish it. Everything wasn't completed yet. And I wanted to see it with everyone else. I didn't want to see it alone. Now, for my mom, we gave her a private screening because she's Miss Peggy. So we had to give her a private screening.
Mm.
But for everyone else, we seen it there. And I held my son's hand. My son held my hand. My husband held my other hand. And as we were watching different parts of the movie, I would squeeze my son's hand like, you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. Are you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I think the next day we went skiing, and it was like such a relief because I had held in so much. Because people always thought that Roxanne Shante was just this mean, stuck up, dress fly, do a thing type person. Oh, she's so gangster, she's so thug. But nobody knew why. Nobody knew why I would go on stage, do my show. And if somebody was performing ahead of me and it was taking too long, I'd pull the plug and say, yo, listen, you got to get the fuck off the stage. I got shit to do. Not knowing what I'm going through at home. So I felt that that story needed to be told. I felt that there was some father that needed to understand how important his presence is in his daughter's life. There's some little girl that needed to see this to understand that you may love this now, but you won't even tolerate it with your daughter later. Like, I didn't even realize how bad that was until I had a daughter.
Oh yeah, I grew up. So you see the movie Precious. So
Yes.
now I understand more because I'm more older and I got more wisdom. But when Precious came out, I grew up with 10 Precious in my building, in my one project building. I didn't understand how these white people were going crazy for this movie. I was like, yo, I know 10 Precious. Like, what are these people talking about? So we grow up around that and we start thinking that that's normal. And the
Yes.
normal people in the world are like, what the fuck is going on in these people's lives? Like, this shit is crazy. I didn't know it was normal. When I was growing up, a lot of my friends was getting killed. Most of my friends. My mom got a picture. It's probably 20 of us. She got it up in front of her TV. Literally 19 is dead instead of Fat Joe. And I'm just standing there with all of them. And we thought that shit was normal. But when we get around people and I be like, yo, I got shot at 30 times. How many times you got? Nigga, I ain't get shot at never. Like, what are you
It's like,
talking about?
never.
I'm like, what? They're like, never. Like, are you serious? Like, and so we grew up in such a bad environment that it seems unbelievable to other people, but it's the truth. I want to ask you about MC Shan. So
Yes.
MC Shan was what I call the franchise or the leader of the Juice Crew, correct?
Well, no, that's not how it went. Like, I was the first, I was the first person in the Juice Crew as far as to have a record. So I guess you would say it started with a queen first, and then everyone else came along because I was the first one out the gate.
Wow, I had not realized that. Uh, I guess you did come out first, and then this guy, MC Shan, became huge. Yes or no? He became huge,
Yes,
right?
absolutely,
What
absolutely.
What was it like looking at your friend? Because in the movie he's there with you. What was it look? What was it like looking at your friend blow up to be this mega superstar?
It's an honor to me to see all of them grow up to be mega superstars. And one thing about me is that because the booking agents and everything, they were booking me for shows, but I knew all of them were great. So I would bring them along. So I didn't care as to what capacity I had to bring them, whether you're going to be the hype person, you're going to be the DJ, you're going to carry bags, you're going to do this. But when we get to this place, everybody's getting on this stage. Everybody's going to grab this microphone.
Yeah,
At
like
one
I lost
time,
it when Biz started doing the beatbox. My daughter was like, "Yo, calm down," and he's Biz Markie.
absolutely. And the thing
And
about it is that in order to truly love your crew, in order to truly love your people, you need to want to see them succeed. You never want to hold them back. Kane is incredible. So of course, I'm never gonna say, oh yeah, well listen, I'm Roxanne Shante. You just write some songs for me and do no, you're Big Daddy Kane. The world is waiting for you. You're MC Shan. The world is waiting for you. You're Biz Markie. The world is waiting for you. Because Joe, I never wanted none of this hip hop shit. I did battle rhymes because I grew up by the largest hostro on the whole Eastern Coast, which was Dutch Kills, Queens Plaza, the whole thing, bigger than Hunters Point, all of that shit.
that's
Everything
cool.
was right there outside of my fucking window. So all I knew is that I can grab this mic and bust rhymes while these girls here is on their knees doing all other types of shit. So I can rhyme and I'm making money doing this. This is what I'm gonna do. but that's not what I wanted to do in life. You know, I wanted to be an attorney. I wanted my sisters to grow up and be doctors and everything else. But the world has something different for me to be Roxanne Shante. And I don't turn against that because I love being Roxanne Shante. But I also understood that I didn't want to do that. They could never get me in the studio. To get me to come in the studio, I would go in the studio, lay a freestyle. They'd be like, hold up, wait. We need you to do hooks and this and that. I'd look right at Marley and say, you the motherfucking producer, produce the shit. You cut it up, splice it, put it in where you need to put it. I laid my rhymes, I'm leaving. I never once, and everybody can tell you, I've never stayed in the studio more than 30 minutes, ever, ever,
Wow.
ever. Still
Yeah,
today.
I done bust my bubble uh legendary. Like I didn't, you know, I stayed in the studio for years. Um I want to ask you about this infamous Queensbridge projects where you have all these superstars come out of this one area. I don't think there's another area this has ever happened. Just one project, even though it's big as hell.
Yes.
But where all this talent from Marley Marl to you to Shan to, and then Prodigy and then Nas and then Gaddafi and just I'm not
Capone
sure.
and
I think
Noriega.
Capone is from there.
Yes. Capone is from
And
my
so
building.
it just, and I know Nori's from Left Rack, but he's like an honorary Queensbridge guy, right?
Right.
And so, and so, um, you hear this Bridge is Over,
Oh,
KRS-One.
I remember that day.
You told me the story. Let me tell you so we can be consistent.
Okay.
You told me, Joe, I had a concert in London
Yes.
and I went into my limo. You can finish it from there.
Okay. So I had just landed in Kennedy Airport, and the limousine driver picked me up. And you know, sometimes limousine drivers, when they pick you up, they always had a demo. Like back in the day, I don't know if they still do that, like you know how people do it today, but back in the day, they always had a demo. Either somebody mama could sing, somebody could rap. They always want to play a tape for you. So I get in the car, I'm like, listen, I just took this long flight. I really don't want to hear anything, you know, but I'm not being rude. There's like, nah, I think you really want to hear this. I think you really want to hear this. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me hear it, because you never know. You never know what it is you're going to hear. I love all types of music. Go ahead, play it. Let's hear it. And I heard. So I'm now look. So now I'm thinking, okay, this must be some reggae shit. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. The bridge is, and the percent C. So I'm thinking like, okay. Then I heard the rest of the fucking lyrics. Then I was like, who is that? And it's like, that's KRS-One. And I was like, KRS-One, KRS-One, KRS. That's Kane's fucking friend.
Listen.
That's, wait a minute. He was helping Kane move furniture or something. That's Kane's friend. That's Kane's friend with the nose. Being honest. And I said, what happened? I leave, the bridge is the shit. I come home, the bridge is over. Oh, we can't have that. Oh, we can't have that.
And so now that that I get the gist of it, that you all come from the bridge, it wasn't just like a one-on-one against Shan. He dissed the whole bridge. And so what happened was, so I'll tell you a crazy story. Fast forward, I'm at Prodigy's funeral.
Okay.
And I'm crying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not acting like I'm Prodigy's best friend or whatever, but I know him for many, many years. We lost a hero in hip hop, and it was beautiful. Farrakhan was saying the speech, and they were playing Shook Ones on the drums, and I'm in the back, and I just, you know, and they start letting, you know, when they start letting your friends go up there and talk. So
Yes.
his friends are like, yo, I love him. You know, we did that. This is, and motherfuck KRS-One. We never liked that Bridge is Over shit. Fuck that. This in the funeral. And I'm sitting in the back. I'm probably the only Bronx dude there. I'm like, oh, shit. They taking it to the grave with them. This is 20-something years later. And and so so you dealt with that.
Yes.
And And that's crazy. So I'm gonna say this because I get to the end of the movie where young Nas spits for you.
Yes.
And break that down for us. And I really want to ask you, after you break it down for us, uh, how do you feel knowing that y'all birthed and y'all set the seeds to a young man who would be considered a God MC? He's in everybody's top five
Yes. Yes.
greatest rappers of all time. There's been millions of rappers. Explain that scene for the people, and then how did also continue with how did it make you feel to know that that's Nasty Nas, Escobar, and so forth?
Well, for me, it was the fact of knowing Nas from when he was little, and I told him, like, listen, if you want to get on this stage, you got to make sure that you have your shit together. If not, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, the thing about it was that I said that to him as a big sister to her little brother. I never told it to anyone, never told it to the world, never said, oh, look, I told Nas, or I did this with Nas, I did that. Nas told it first in his documentary.
Mm, mm,
See, the thing about it is that if you are a real person, anything you do for somebody, you never speak on it. Because what happens is the agreement between you and the universe is that the universe will pay you back later. So don't even worry
mm,
about it. Even if a person
mm,
steals, you don't go around telling everybody that they stole from you because you don't know whether or not they needed it. So because of that, you have an agreement with the universe. I've survived so much shit, Joe, that my relationship with the universe is unquestionable. So
mm,
therefore, I don't speak about anything that I've done for anyone unless they speak about it first.
mm.
Then that allows me to speak on it. So I was watching Nas's Illmatic. I was watching when he did the documentary, and
What's that
he
even
spoke.
like, though, Shante? Like, you gotta stop. I'm trying to put you in the moment. What's that even like? This little kid who used to bug you, he got his own documentary, one of the greatest of all time, and you sit down and you watching this with your popcorn, like, look at Lil Nas.
You know how I'm feeling on the inside? I'm feeling like everything that I went through worked out for him also.
Mm,
See, that's what I do. When I sit back and I see all my people blow up and I see everybody do well, that means everything that I went through worked out for them also. So that cold train ride, that long walk down that block, those nights in the group home, every last one of those things added up to something for somebody else outside of myself. So that's how I feel. So when we went to Dubai and he stopped his show in the middle of his show and he brought me out on stage and he bowed down to me in Dubai and said, look, we've came all the way from Queensbridge Projects to Dubai, from the top of the hill to the top of the world.
mm,
Thank you. I could do nothing but cry. And it was tears of joy, of satisfaction, because anything I get involved in, anything that I do, I want to see it grow and become the best. And I don't care how much of myself I have to put in it. I want to see it become something, because this way it justifies every shit that I've been through that I would never speak of, because I know that this is going to work out for someone else. So that's the way I feel when I see Nas, when I see Shan, when I see all that Shan has done, when I see Biz and Kane and everybody else. Like, I just sit back and I just smile, because it's like, wow, like okay, it wasn't for nothing. Them days that you ate halls to get rid of motherfucking hunger pains. Now that's a real hunger. Like, you eat halls and the vapors from the halls, trick your stomach into thinking you done ate something, so your shit shut down. So we talking real, we talking about going through it, and to see everybody prosper from that. And I never came like this. You owe me. Give me. Come on, I'm a 2-time breast cancer survivor. You can't buy that.
mm,
You can't buy that.
mm, mm.
So had I took this money from them, I may not have survived that. You see?
Well, Shante, the reason why I like having people like you on here and pretty much uh, just to show people that we could go through everything in the world, all fucked up shit, whatever have you, but it doesn't change who we are. We can still be good people. We can
Yes.
still come out. You said your husband and your son, a man that loves you. You know, you still a mentor. You still have a career. You still have your own shows. You still giving by doing interviews like this, giving back to the young girls that look up to you now because they just learned out about Roxanne Shante in this movie. I'm sure you got a lot of that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, it's like when you think of the movie and then you think of my show, Have a Nice Day on Rock the Bells, that I'm on air every day, you know, Monday through Friday. And like L just that happened from an interview. I did an interview with L and he was like, you know what? You need to be talking every day. They need to hear you and hear your voice every day. And I was like, okay. And he called me up and said, come on, let's do it. And now look, to sit back and see what Rock the Bells is doing, how it's growing, what it's becoming, it just makes me know again, Joe,
And you
everything that I'm
and you got a little something in the Rock the Bells, huh? Like you got a little, you're a little
yeah,
minor owner of that, huh? Shout out to Dougie
absolutely.
Fresh, living legend Dougie Fresh. What Dougie Fresh said, I love Dougie, man. He
So
said
do I.
she's the truth, good energy.
Thank
Um, Let me tell Doug something, right? So you got a little piece of that, like,
you.
right?
Listen, L made sure he was like, listen, I don't want you to work for anybody. I want you to work for yourself. I want you to see that you have this investment. I don't want you to depend on my words about how much you're going to make and what you're going to get. Because, yeah, am I eating? Oh, absolutely, I'm eating. But he's like, listen, I want you to do more than that. I want you to have a piece of this. For the first time, somebody in hip hop said to me, Shante, this is for you. What you build this time, you have this. Like this is for
It's
you.
equity, and you deserve it, and you
And
deserve it, and you've
whew,
been putting it down, and you've been representing hip hop like a real queen for
thank
many,
you.
many years. No sucker shit. You've been doing the right thing. You know, when I went to see you last time, you know, my favorite record ever is The Vapors
Yes.
because I'm very, I'm not gonna say similar to you. I have a upbringing. You know, I grew up in the projects. I grew up tough. I was in the streets since I'm 14. Even in my family, and I don't want my aunts, they all watching, my mother's watching, but in my family, say there was 50 grandchildren, I was the one they used to put under the table. I was the black sheep. So even though I had blonde hair and green eyes, I was the one they'd be like, yo, calm down. Like, they treated me like I was the worst. Shout out my Aunt Barbara. The reason why she's my favorite aunt is because
Mm-hmm.
she always treated me with love and always gave me whatever I wanted since I was a kid. But so I know that feeling of being the black sheep. I know that feeling of being the one, you know what I'm saying? And then still being able to and uh and so I turn around, I go like this. I say, I forgot what I was gonna tell you, man. But I'll tell you this. Um so that I was talking about the vapors. And so they treated me like that. And and even though they treated me like that, I grew up in the hood, 99.9% black with blonde hair, green eyes. All the pictures is, so I had to go for mine. Like you never seen somebody go for his on earth. They're not trying to hear that. Like they
That's
never
right.
seen no Spanish guy like Joe Crack, but Joe Crack was born with some other shit, right? And so the vapors. So I go on your show and I see Cool V DJing. And this is the vapors is about him and his life.
Yes. Yes.
It's
Absolutely.
about my cousin Cool V. Better young than y'all, Master Cool V. He cuts transform with all finesse and all
All
that
that
mess.
mess.
And I was groupied out. I was groupied out. He gave me his book, which I still have. And so, you know, I talked to Biz's wife a couple of days ago. She says he's doing a little bit better. He's in better spirits.
Yes.
Um, But you know, he you know, Biz Markie is he's one of my favorites ever, 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 ever. And he encouraged me as a kid. I wouldn't say as far as like the Nas moment with you, But when I was rapping and I only had a demo, I knew Biz Markie since then. He used to come to
See?
the Bronx and come hang out. And because I grew up with Lord Finesse and Showbiz AG and Diamond, I met him and he used to tell me, yo, you gonna be big. I know you gonna be big. And I'd be like, yo, you serious? Like, like for real? He'd be like, yo, you gonna be big. And what's crazy is I did one of these things. What's some things they be doing? Them hip hop squares.
Yes.
I did hip hop squares in LA and Bismarck was on there too. And he pulled me in the room. And you know, I've been cool with Biz for years. But he pulled me in the room. He said, remember I used to tell you? And I said, yo, Biz, I got a picture of that day. He got mad, changed all. He said, remember I used to tell you? And I
That's
said,
right.
yeah, Biz. But he said, remember when you saw French Montana and you believed in him? And one time I seen you, I asked you about him, and you was like, yo, he gonna be the next to blow. He said, that's how I saw it in you when I
That's
used
right.
to tell you, you gonna be the next, right? And so I love Biz. Many prayers for Biz because he still got to fight.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to leave the people with before we go watch this versus battle between
Yeah. You know what?
Jeezy and Gucci?
That's gonna be something. I just want to say to everybody, listen, if you can take anything from me, because remember, I'm not the female rapper that they're ever gonna see on the awards. I'm not the one that they call for the big projects. I'm not the one that they're gonna do that because see, you don't get no reward for the shit that I do. You know, they just don't do that. But I want to tell you this much. Never give up. Because what you waiting for and what you fighting for is right around the fucking corner. I'm 50 fucking years old and I am living my best motherfucking life. I got a radio show, 7 million motherfucking listeners, a movie that is still breaking records today. I am healthy, 2-time breast cancer survivor, beautiful daughter, wonderful son, beautiful husband. Listen, don't give the fuck up. Don't let nobody tell you to do that. And if you rode in a pissy elevator, that's magic. All that piss you inhaled, that's magic.
You know what, Roxanne? I mean, Shante, you know
Because
what?
that's the truth.
Nah, that's why we put elevators in our houses now.
There you go.
That's why we got marble elevators and wood and shit play music while we go up.
See?
Let me say, I'm not confused.
There you
I'm
go.
not confused. So when I know where we at, I know where we came from. I never forget where we came from. So when I build some big shit and I got my own elevator and I got music, I got shook ones playing while I'm going up. The instrumental by the black violin, the black
Woo.
violinist, instrumental going up, right? And I'm just like, wow, I can't believe we made it to this, you know, and that's a testament to everybody. See, the projects, and I'm not trying to preach too much, but the projects is really supposed to be a temporary place. And so where we get it fucked up, shout out Diamond D, DITC, he discovered me. He put me on. He's my
There you
Molly
go.
Ball. Diamond D, he changed my life. I called him today out of nowhere, Diamond, just to tell you I love you, right? You know, we all family, you know, and like with the Juice Crew, I don't know about y'all, but digging in the crates, we never argue.
You know, well, we kind of like that family that we have our moments, but we love each other and we have never separated. Like I could be having a moment with Shan. If a stranger come up, it's me and Shan against the stranger. That's just the way we are. That never stops.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
real family.
Juice Crew is Juice Crew forever. Like I could call tragedy a tragedy to come in as a rhino and we'll run some shit down because that's just the way we are. So I love my Juice Crew family, and yeah, we hold that.
And
Now,
Ron
does that mean
Artest.
that we don't have a selfish brother, one or two selfish brothers? Yeah, we got that too. Every family does.
Yeah. You know, we from the hood. We always gonna have a selfish brother too, you know. But it's so weird that Diamond, you know, put me on. He's my brother. I called him today out of nowhere, and I just said, "Yo, Diamond, I love you, bro. What's going on?" I'm good, Joe. Know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, my brother, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I love all my brothers. You know, digging in the crates, they put me on. I never forget where I come from. Whenever they need me, if they need me, I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So vice versa. We love you, Shante. Thank you so much for
Love you
taking
too.
this time out. I've been
Absolutely.
chasing you down. We try to give the people, this is the biggest show in the game, Shante.
Listen, you know I couldn't wait to get on Jopra. Look, let me tell you something. I went and found me, I had a brand new shirt. I never get dressed up for nobody. This is the COVID. I ain't got to put on no fucking clothes. I made sure I went and popped the tag off of it, like, hold on, I'm going on Jopra.
Shante, we are shitting on the competition. Bad.
Yes.
We won't stop on these people. We won't let up.
We can't.
We won't let up.
We can't.
Suckers, they so confused. They said, man, he got Roxanne Shante. Tomorrow night we got Ludacris. We're not playing with these people. Like,
they're not ready, but they better get ready.
I love you, Shante. I love you, Shante.
Too.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. God damn, you don't know who I know? It's Roxanne Shante, living legend. You got time, you go on Netflix and look up a movie. Compelling story. She went through everything you could throw at her, and she's still successful. She's still a legend, still making moves, doing her thing. Sisters, you can learn from Roxanne Shante. Listen, man. Put God first. God is the most important thing. Walk towards the light. Let your darkest moments bring your most clarity. Your darkest moments bring your most clarity. And if you're going through something, don't think, why is this happening to me? Just know it's a lesson for something else that's going to happen. So we never fail. These are all lessons that God gives to us. It was an honor for me to interview Roxanne Shante. I am such a fan. Before the movie, I'm Shante. Rhymes, stupid rhymes are fresh. Like, I'm a Shante. Have a nice day. I'm a Shante fan. And so it was an honor to be able to interview her and her giving us her time. And hip hop, we need to appreciate the people. And as long as Fat Joe is here, Fat Joe's alive, we will always appreciate the pioneers, the people who paved the way for us.
Khaled said we the biggest. He wanted you to come.
Khaled said we the biggest in the game. So he's doing his interview with Diddy over there.
Yeah.
I'll come over there in 2 minutes. I'm closing up my show right now. Right. Shout out Engineer Juan. Listen, guys, I'm going to watch the verses. Khaled, we're in his house. So Rock in the building. He's interviewing Diddy. So they want to go make a movie. I'm going over there now. Peace, y'all. God bless tomorrow.